I like these Shiketsu High characters. It's just one problem. I need their names. Give me their names. I gotta say though, at least these characters continue to impress me. Chapter 106 is a continuation, and this one is actually a slowdown from the last chapter. Instead of being all action packed, it's more of a calm before storm, so it's something to look forward to the next chapter. But it has an interesting setup, as well as something for the future events, especially when it comes to Shoto against Inasa. And I knew that was going to happen in terms of the build up. There are other aspects that seems like it's going to build up more and more as the exam itself progresses. What's going to happen later? Right off the bat, I gotta say these Shiketsu High characters, the only one I know the name is Inasa, but the other two characters that we actually see more of them are pretty much hype. And I really like the fact that we get to see more of these characteristics and their quirk. Because we have no name, I guess you could say it's saved for later on. It does seem like these characters are not there just for the exam one, or not there just to be fertilized. They are going to be showcasing more, which is great. Shoto and Inasa do meet each other. They give you that one slight of hints that Inasa does have some personal grudge against Shoto. I did call it. These two are going to fight each other. They are going to fight each other one way or another. This is the rivalry they're going to build upon. But what I do not know until this chapter was the rivalry that's going to try to build on with Shiketsu High girl. The girl that has been crazy over Deku is actually building some rivalry with Ochako, which is something that's interesting. I want Ochako to be more involved in this series. I mean, we get to see snippets, but we want to see more of her characters. Want her more to portray her ability to see in combat. So this is a nice setup for these Shiketsu going against the UA characters. I don't know who Deku is going to rival against. Maybe it'll be the other character, the other guy, Shindo. I'm liking what I'm seeing, that Inasa and Shoto are really going to match up against each other. Ochako and this obsessed girl from Shinketsu. If you haven't heard, you have this whole weird article about the most hated heroine in the Shonen Jump history, and surprisingly she ends up being one. I have no idea why. Regardless, I want to see more of her characters to portray in here, because it's time for her to shine even further. And I know she has already a set up with Toga, but that will be later on. We need to see more of her. Shiketsu High characters, I like the fact the girl escaped and actually saved for later on. I guess that's the reason why we don't get their names. That means we're going to be more interested as more and more of their quirks and their personality will uncover. We get to see Shiketsu High guy who is going against Bakugo. It does intrigue me, perhaps that he will actually last up to the next exam part. It is possible that he will be defeated here against Bakugo. What's intriguing is his ability. It's hard to say what it exactly does, but it looked like he makes them all mushy or whatever. It doesn't really describe exactly what his quirk does, but we know he got Krishma and some other characters just all molded up or something, or just a head. Made it look like he just beheaded so many characters, which seems sadistic, but I like that kind of characteristics to see more of these Shiketsu High characters. So I got the girl to be really interested to see what her quirk can really do, and it even has the fact that she doesn't wear any clothes when she does her quirk, which is strange, but that's one way to ensue comedy, which is actually funny because with the whole pervert thing. And then you got this guy who's talking about his eye is actually in a perfect shape. Very egotistic. The entire chapter is more of a setup for the next chapter, more so than for this chapter to continue the action, because it seems like the next chapter may be the end of the first part of the exam. As you see, Shoto already done his part, and we're going to see more characters doing theirs. And we're going to see how Deku overcome the odds, which is great to see how he recognized the characters' reactions, since UA is the main priority, and it makes sense how he has realized these characters are very spoiled. They're hasty to get the win. They believe they know everything about this UA. It's going to be really cool to see how he's going to overcome that, because the good part of My Hero Academia is the idea that Deku doesn't really fight head on with pure raw power, but rather the strategy strategy that he has to come up from the reaction he has witnessed and knows their abilities and so on. So it makes it really interesting to see how everything from the past chapter plays out. And we see Bakugo going all head on. He's basically the raw power as Deku is all the brains, which is actually a pretty nice combination. While not much happened in this chapter as is a calm before storm, it did help me to like these Shiketsu High characters even further. I'm really impressed by these characters and I'm really wanted to see more of them when we get to the next part of exam. We have a good matchup that's going to happen in the further future. It has a well done setup for the next chapter. It's always good to create a hype for the next chapter because you always want your audience to be anticipated so much more and want more out of this series. Chapter 106 gets a 7. I don't know what's going to happen next one. I don't know if Ochaku is going to prove everybody wrong about them being the worst heroine in Shonen Jump history. That's still baffling. Opinion is opinion, what can you do? But seriously, I'm still intrigued to see more of what's going to happen after this event because I want to see the one-on-one combat. I want to see how much they're going to build this hype up and want to see how they're going to battle out, especially with Shoto and Inasa, Ochaku and that crazy girl. It's going to be something fun to watch and it's always fun to see how My Hero Academia differed itself from the other series when it comes to strategizes battle combat. I'm still enjoying what I'm seeing right now. My thoughts are told, don't let yours on hold. Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.